Hi everyone, welcome back to the channel. So today's video is about how to deploy React application on Firebase hosting and also to set up CI/CD pipeline for automatic deployment with GitHub Actions. So what is Firebase? Basically Firebase acts as a backend as a service. So it is powered by Google and not only mobile app development, it also helps in web application development as well. So we will see what are the services that it will provide in a moment. So first of all, let's set up our React project. So I'm using reactapp tool for setting up React application. So I have given my React application name React Firebase deployment. So let's create. So it will take a few minutes to set up the boilerplate. In the meantime, let's jump on to GitHub and create a new repository for this application. Okay, so it can be public or private, it is up to you. Let's create the repo. Okay, so it is still going on. So in the meantime, let's jump on to Firebase. So you can go to firebase.google.com and from here you can go to the console from this option, and once you are in the console you can see a dashboard like this. So here we need to create a project for our application. So let's create. Look, let's give the same name to be consistent in all the places. So I'm giving the same name. Okay, so let's continue. So since it is a testing deployment, right, so I'm not going to enable the analytics. If you wish to, you can go ahead and proceed with this. So let's create. Okay, so Firebase project has been created. So let's continue. So now we are in the dashboard. So let's see if the setup is completed. So all right, so React application is created. So let's change the project directory. So let's start the application to check in our local environment. So in the meantime, let's open VS Code. Okay guys, so our React application is up and running in our local machine. So let's open the VS Code editor. So here we need to push our code to remote repository, right? So let's check. Git is already initialized, so let's set the status. Okay, so we have a initial commit by the React app. So So let's push this code to GitHub. So let's add this to staging area. Okay, so from here onwards, like I will be using the commands from the repo. So let's use these commands. So here we have committed and we have set up our main branch, and we have added the remote origin source, and here now we are pushing. Okay, so code has been pushed to the repo. All right, so now we need to set up the Firebase in our local machine. So let's jump onto the project dashboard. So from here we can go to hosting. So we can deploy web and mobile apps in seconds. Okay, so let's get started. So here you can see we need to install Firebase CLI. So we have to install this package. So let's copy this. As you can see, to host our site with Firebase hosting, we need a Firebase CLI, right? So once this is done, so I'm just clicking on the next step. So we need to sign into Firebase. Alright, so installation is completed. So let's go ahead and log in using the Firebase login command. Alright, so it is I have already logged in. So what it will do is it will open a browser window and it will allow you to log in with your Google account. So since I have already signed in, it is stating as I have already logged in. Okay, so let's set up our hosting thing. So we need to execute a couple of commands here. So let's clear the screen. So we have to execute Firebase initialization for hosting. So Firebase init hosting. Yes. So we have to use an existing project, right? Because we have already created a Firebase project on the console. So I'm using an existing project. So now since I have already only one project, so it is detecting that. So I'm choosing that one. So your public directory is a folder that will contain hosting assets. If you are having a build process for your assets, then build is the output directory. So in our case, we have a build process, right? So we need to use build directory here. Configure as a single page app. Yes, our React application is a single page application, so we should say yes. Set up automatic builds and deploys with GitHub. Yes, that is right. So here you need to give consent from GitHub account. So I have already did that, so it is successfully logged in. Okay, all right. So next thing is, it is asking for which GitHub repository would you like to set up the workflow. So the format we need to give is username, GitHub username / the repository. So from our repo, GitHub repository, so I'm just copy paste this thing. Okay, so it is asking set up the workflow to run a build script before every deploy. Yes. So it is asking the commands what script should be run before every deploy. So npm clean install and npm run build. Press enter to keep it the default commands. So now it is asking set up a deployment to your site's live channel when a PR is merged. Okay, so whenever there is a pull request raised, we can also run a GitHub Actions job for running the build. So let's give this S and see how it will help in a moment. So my GitHub repository main branch is also the main. Sometimes you might have a master, so I'm going with main. Okay, so the initialization has been completed. So if we check our code base in our local machine, so there are certain files has been added. So it has some configuration properties. Okay, you can also observe some workflows added here from that initialization. So now in case like if you want to execute after the installation, if you want to run any test cases, I would encourage to keep the test command here. Okay, so now all these changes are present in our local repository, so we need to stage them. So let's check the status. Okay, so let's add this to staging area. Okay, so let's commit. Okay, so now we can go ahead and push. Alright, let's verify from our remote repository. Okay, now we can see we have 2 commits. If you observe, there is a job that is running on currently. So let's go to actions. So it is running this job based on the commit ID 7 cicd. So let's verify that is the last commit that we have committed, right? So here if you observe, this is the commit that we have did and pushed on the master branch, right? So let's go inside this. All right. So now the build has been completed, right? So our GitHub actions setup for CI/CD pipeline has been done, and also we have completed Firebase hosting initialization, right? So that means if you go to your Firebase account and to the project, I'm just going to my console again. So here you will be able to see you have a web link for you. So let's open this one. Okay, so our app has been deployed on Firebase hosting service. So let's simulate a scenario where we have a feature development. So let's do a development workflow here. So let's check the branch. So we have only one branch right now. So let's I'm just going to create a new branch. I'm checking out to feature A. So currently we are in feature A branch. So let's open VS Code. So you can see I'm inside a feature branch. So I'm going to update some changes here. So hello world from feature A. So this is the text that I have added here. So I'm just going to save. So again, let's add to the staging area. Okay, let's commit. So let's push this feature branch to the remote repository. So we push origin and our feature branch name. Okay, let's verify. Okay, so now we can see we have a new notification for raising a pull request. So before raising a pull request, let's verify the actions tab. So we do not have any workflows that are running right now, right? So let's go to the code. Okay, let's compare and raise a pull request. Right. So now you can see there are some checks that are going on because we have also set up the workflow in such a way that whenever there is a pull request raised, we need to run the jobs again on this feature branch. So let's go inside this build. Okay, so the build has been failed. Okay, so even in the first time I have also wondered what is the issue here. So here it is saying the resource is not accessible by the integration. Okay, so let's take this error message and check in Google. So I just went to this first option from the Stack Overflow. So Firebase action hosting deploy fails with the request error. So this is what happened to us, right? Now if we go down, you can see on the settings, look for workflow permission section. So we have to provide read and write permission. Okay, so let's go to our project settings. So under actions, general and workflow permissions here. So if you can see we have only read repository contents permission, right? So that's why the PR build is not proceeding further. So we need to provide read and write permission and we have to allow GitHub Actions to create and approve pull requests. So enable this checkbox and save. Oh no, let's do this again. Okay, so it has updated the changes. So let's go back to the actions. So we can rerun the failed jobs, right? So now we have fixed the issue. Let's go ahead and rerun failed jobs. So let's go inside this. Okay, so this time the build process went through. So that means let's verify the pull request again. So now the best part is here you can observe the GitHub Actions bot has provided a preview URL from our feature branch, right? So whatever we have applied on the feature branch, we got a Firebase deployment URL to verify the feature. So this is really cool feature. You can see this is what we have made the changes, and the main branch, the main site which is deployed on the site is not affected. You can still see these are still unaffected. So testing the feature branch on the having a site like this for testing is really nice. So now once we are good with this testing, we can go ahead and merge the pull request. So I'm just confirming it. So again, whenever we make any merge or whenever we push to the main branch, again as per our workflow, there should be another job should trigger, right? So now you can see because of this merge pull request, there is a job going on our main branch. So once this is completed successfully, then our main site, deployed site, should also get affected with the latest changes. So let's wait and see. Alright, so it is completed within 1 minute. Okay, so let's go to the main branch. Okay, so everything looks good. So let's verify our main site. Now you can see the changes has been reflected on the main branch deployed site. So this is how we can simulate development workflow without affecting the main site, and setting up the automatic deployment with the help of GitHub Actions, and configuring the Firebase hosting for the React application. So in case if you have an environment variable, so then you need to make use of secret variables. Right, you can create new variables and you can make use of them in your build process. So as you can see, this is the one that is currently being set up by Firebase during the Firebase initialization. So similarly, we can create our environment variables and we can make use of them in the workflows. Like if we see our few of the workflows, so this is that variable that it is being used, right? EA107, right? So this is how you will be using them in the build process. Okay, so this is all about guys. So I hope you enjoyed this video and it is helpful for you all. So we'll see you in the next video. Until then, take care, see you, and thank you so much for watching.